In my recent Iron Man 2 revisit, there was one very simple scene, and yet it managed to have a huge emotional impact on me. It is in fact the only scene in Iron Man 2 that gave me goosebumps. And when a movie gives me goosebumps that I already saw several times, that's always something special for me. The scene I'm talking about is when Tony is at his absolute low point in the movie. He messed everything up, he thinks that he's dying, and most importantly, he still thinks that his father never cared about him. But then he stumbles across this unexpected piece of videotape. And before I talk about why this scene moved me personally so much, let's quickly revisit it together.
Tony, you are too young to understand this right now.
Getting goosebumps just when you said Tony.
I built this for you.
Yeah, he did. Your father isn't who you thought he was.
What is and always will be
Oh,
my greatest creation
getting goosebumps, man.
is you.
I mean, Tony Stark, or the actor Robert Downey Jr., he doesn't really show much emotions in that scene. It's like typical man, you know, toughening up, not letting it come to the surface, but it has to be huge for him. Like, hearing that from your father after you've spent your whole life thinking that not only that he didn't love you, but you thought he didn't care about you. My God, like, this scene moves me every time. And I think one reason why this scene moves me so much is because it just hits that nerve, that soft spot that I have, or connection I have to that scene in my personal life. Like, I think, or at least in my case, for me personally, the relationship between a father and his son is just, it's a different kind of relationship. Like, all of you sons out there, and maybe fathers watching this, who knows, I hope you know what I mean. It's a different kind of relationship. So, like in my case, the relationship between me and my father has always been complicated over the years. And like, as I grew up, I think as a kid, I just saw my father as like a father figure. You know, he makes rules, he punishes you if you do something bad, and you maybe don't always agree with him, and what he does at the time maybe seems wrong or unjustified. And then as I grew up, I like started to see my father more and more as his own individual, as a man who, I realized that he's also just a man that makes mistakes, but at his core, he cares about his family and just wants the best for his family. And everything he did, may it be right or wrong, whatever the case may be, it was always with the intention of doing the best thing for the family. And even if he punished you, it was maybe he was punishing you to make you a better man, to help you grow up as a man. And yeah, now that I'm 25 years old and I'm a young adult, a man myself, I'm starting to realize that. And I think that's why this scene connects to me so much, because like, I'm lucky enough, my father is still alive, and I can still talk to him and share experiences with him. And I'm realizing this at a, I think, young age. So to imagine like Tony already as an older adult and having his father be passed away, and then realizing that must be so powerful. Like, because that connection between a father, or my father and me, is so important to me. I have like a weakness for father-son dynamics in movies generally. But there's something about the relationship between Howard Stark and Tony Stark that I really like. Although we don't get much of it in this movie, and also not in the MCU, it's just something that reoccurs every so often. But to imagine that you grew up, especially somebody as talented as Tony, and you grew up still thinking that your father didn't care about you, like, that's just something. If I imagine that my father doesn't care about me, that would hurt me so much. And yeah, just imagining that growing up till your 30s, your 40s with that thought, it just hits me. And then having him finally see that everything that Howard Stark did was actually for Tony, and that he believed in him so much that he could kind of continue his father's mission. Like, there's that it's funny because it just gets used in memes so much, but that Howard Stark was limited by the technology of his time. Yeah, that was the case. Like, he had an idea and he couldn't go through with it. He couldn't execute that idea at his time. And then that he had such a strong belief in his son to grow up and to become a man that could continue his legacy, continue his work, and that everything he set up was just for Tony to change the world. So yeah, it's a very simple scene, very simple dialogue. And the funny thing is, like, the two actors, they don't even interact in a sense. Like, it's just Tony watching a recording of his father, and Tony doesn't even say anything. But still, like, such a powerful dialogue. Like, I love it, man. And obviously, even though Tony doesn't show many emotions in that moment, from that point forward, it's the time in the movie and maybe the MCU, I don't know, but when he, like, yeah, it's a stepping stone for him. It's such an important moment for him to go forward and actually change the world. And of course, you know, it's several movies, and in every movie he has an up and down. That's just how movies are structured and are, yeah, you don't find something out and then you're instantly perfect. I guess you could also see it like that. So of course he has his ups and downs throughout the rest of his journey, but this was definitely a very important moment for him, a moment that he needed. And I think it also made him, like, reconsider a lot of the things that his father did that he maybe before that thought were mean or bad or unfair decisions. So yeah, seeing that will, I think, put his father in an entirely new light looking back. Of course, we get a couple more scenes throughout the MCU between him and his father, and they're all great. And like in the first movie, he says that one thing he regrets is that he never got to say goodbye to his father. And then in Endgame, he finally gets to say goodbye, which is of course also great. Like, I love that his father is like, has a reappearance throughout all the movies. But yeah, now I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So just Iron Man 2, I really love this scene. It moved me personally. I love father-son dynamics. And it just hit that note for me because, yeah, I care a lot about my father and his relation, or my relationship to him. So if there's anything that I hope you can take away from this video, it's that try to understand why your father is doing something or did something in the past. Like, maybe it seems mean, but like, what was his intention behind it? Like, maybe what seemed like a punishment or like an unfair punishment, his intention was to teach you something, teach you a lesson, to help you become a man, you know? And if you're also lucky enough to still have your father be alive, spend some time with him, you know, try to get into a deep conversation with him at a campfire or whatever you can bring up as a situation, you know, ask him like how he tried to provide for his family, how he tried to help you grow up as a man. Get into a deep conversation. Like, I'm sure that even if he did some mistakes, he really cares about you. And yeah, I guess watch more Marvel movies. Like, sometimes they really hit some really deep emotional notes that if you take some time to think about them and reflect on them, I think can really inspire you or help you in your own life. At least that's what they're doing for me. So yeah, that was the scene in Iron Man 2 that gave me goosebumps. And yeah, I'm excited to continue revisiting the MCU. So I hope you'll join me for that ride. And if so, I'll see you in my next video, probably about Thor. So I hope you enjoyed this, my little personal story, a little deep talk. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next one.